If your job at a healthcare facility includes disinfecting against viruses, you know prevention is the best medicine. And maintaining healthy spaces starts with a healthy cleaning routine. Grainger's world-class supply chain helps ensure you have the quality products you need when you need them. From disinfectants and cleaning supplies to personal protective equipment, so you can help deliver a clean bill of health. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. You chose to hit play on this podcast today. Smart choice. Progressive loves to help people make smart choices. That's why they offer a tool called Auto Quote Explorer that allows you to compare your Progressive car insurance quote with rates from other companies. So you save time on the research and can enjoy savings when you choose the best rate for you. Give it a try after this episode at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Not available in all states or situations. Prices vary based on how you buy.
Folks, football is back, and BetOnline remains your number one source for all your football betting needs this season. You'll find latest odds, matchup info, player news, and game trends. As your continued source for all sports wagering info, BetOnline features live betting, free contests, live scores, and giveaways all season long. Always the fastest and easiest way to bet all your favorite sports and events like MLB, MMA, tennis, boxing, and even golf. Head to betonline.ag, that's BETOLINE.ag to receive your 100% welcome bonus with your first deposit. Make sure you use the promo code BELIEVE, that's BLEAV, to receive your rewards. Bet online where the game starts, and also BetOnline sponsors the Bossman Show on your radio. Folks, back on the Bossman Show. Also, speak Governor's head coach Nate James on the show with us up at our OVs. Hey, son, there you went. Hey, son, there. Not no, hey, son, there. What's up, Nate? How you doing, brother?
Hey, just getting ready for the season. Like everyone else. Just trying to figure some things out. See who's gelling, what's working, what's not working, and just getting ready for the season, man. But just exciting time right now.
Nate, I saw you in Memphis, man. I couldn't catch you. I was on the court before game 5. They got slapped. They slapped before. Then I saw you with your kids, man. Talking about them leaving those guys, man. I couldn't catch you, man. But of course, come to Memphis and bring your kids out and watch that playoff game, man.
Oh, most def, man. I was very fortunate to have the Duke brotherhood on both sides. I had my man Mike Dunleavy, who's the GM with the Warriors. And he was able to give me some ticks. And Dave McClure, who's with Memphis, along with the Jones boys, man. So it was good just watching my Duke brothers, kind of, go at it, man. But Memphis had their number that night. I mean, the place was lit. Yes. Kids had a great time, man, and they got there early so my boys can get all the autographs from Curry and Clay and those guys and Draymond. And then got to see some great basketball, man. It was a shootout. It was a shootout day game.
Yes, indeed. My favorite part was when they supposed to whoop their tricks. I really wanted to whoop their trick. My favorite part of the night.
Yeah. I'm telling you, that atmosphere, they really figured it out, man. And obviously, the playoffs, they just ramped it up even more. But just from a marketing standpoint, it was definitely a terrific atmosphere for the fans. So, I'm enjoying it, man. So hopefully they continue to make those playoff runs and continue to bring the fan, man. But it was a terrific game that day for the Grizzlies.
No doubt, man. For you, bro, how's it been? You're heading into your second year now after last year. So how's it been for you growing this program, putting a step on it even more, my brother?
Well, new year, trying to learn from last year. It was still a weird time, with coming into the year with recruiting right off COVID. Many of the players that we recruited that season, we didn't get a chance to see them play. We couldn't have them on campus. So, it was a lot of the online shopping, as I like to say, just recruiting off the internet. And, sometimes you can find some players that way, but, that's not really how it was designed, to kind of come about when you want, bring guys into your family and put them on your team. So this year, we got to do that. We got to spend time with a lot of the players, recruit them, get to know them and their families. And so we're trying to really, really establish our identity and who we're going to be this year. One of the missions going into the year was to have more athletes. We were not very athletic last year. And so we just needed more of that speed, quickness, and athleticism so we can kind of attack on both sides of the ball. So I really thought we did a really good job, at least so far, in recruiting, those pieces that we were looking for. We had a really good scorer, transfer from Mizzou. Sean Dewar-Gorgon, he can really score the ball. He's had a terrific, preseason. So excited about him. We brought in another transfer from San Jose State, kid who we really originally looked at that went to Ole Miss. And then we missed out on last year, but we were able to get him this year. He's 6'10", can run like a deer, can, face, can put the ball on the floor, can shoot the three. So I'm very excited to see, him, kind of really find his game, in addition to obviously the guys that we had returning, with big fella Everett coming back. That was huge for us because, it was a year-by-year thing with these guys, and
oh, yeah.
And they're great kids, and it's nothing against them. It's just the landscape of college basketball, as you're trying to build your roster and get that chemistry and keep it, kids leave. So we were fortunate enough to have Big E come back. Same with Caleb Carrawell. And just putting some pieces together. We brought in some freshman guys. We have a little speedy point guard, Guy Fauntleroy, high school kid, came from prep school ranks, but he's a dynamo. And a three-star kid, Elijah Perkins, that played with Wagner, his boy up there in New Jersey. So we got some really good pieces, man. They're all athletic. They get up and down, and it should be really fun to watch. And so I'm excited on who we can be on both sides of the ball.
They got a young man from my area.
Douglasville.
Talk about that young man, Mr. Copeland. People in Atlanta want to hear about that young man, brother.
Yeah, Cam, I'm very proud of Cam. He probably had the best summer out of everyone. And he came back, put on 10 pounds of muscle. He's always been a really good athlete, but now he's a lot stronger, more confident. He's kind of bounced around, and to no fault of his own, he was put in some situations where, either a coach left or just something happened. So he never had that time to really get comfortable in one environment. So this was the first year that, or I should say the first time that he's been in the same spot for more than 1 year. So this summer he was super comfortable, brought it every day, and he's probably our most consistent player. So I'm very excited about his growth as just a young man, not just as a player. But, I foresee him, being a starter and a major contributor and someone who can, really fill it up and also shut people down. So excited about the year he should have.
Now, Nate, with you being an A son, now how's it changed recruiting for you? So OVC kind of a little different. So how's it changed for you trying to get young men? Are you what people kind of calling you now, or you still kind of have to call them a little bit too as well?
No, you always gotta, field calls and just get out there and grind like everybody else. Nothing changes from that standpoint. We've recruited obviously Georgia kids, recruited kids that come from Florida. They're North Carolina school in the ASUN, as well as a Virginia team, Liberty. They'll be moving to a new conference, but coming from Duke, like I said before, I have kind of ties in a lot of different states, and so I'll continue to do that. Wherever there's good players, I have my ear to the streets and try to find them, but still. Like most people who are entering a conference that they've never really been in, for the first year, I'll have to figure it out. But ultimately, if you have the athletes, man, and, you're tough, and that's what we're trying to get them to be a lot tougher, you can play a lot of different styles. So, we definitely want to get up and down. I know the ASUN, looking at the stats from last year, everyone's been in those mid 70s. So if you can't score in upper 70s, 80s, you probably won't have a hard time winning the ASUN. So we want to have to make sure we're defending as well as using our athletes to get up and down. And I think recruits like that. They like to score the ball. They like to play fast pace. And that's the type of athletes that I want to continue to bring in Austin Peay.
And no doubt, brother, the A-Sun has some good spots to go to. North Florida, Jacksonville, Atlanta, of course, the Gulf Coast of Fort Myers. So some good spots to go to in the A-Sun on the road, too.
Absolutely.
No doubt. And so for you, Nate, man, so I saw your schedule, non-conference wise. It's a bear, man. NC State, Purdue, and MTE, your Duke brother Kenny coming to town, Murray, and Tennessee, man. You're testing your boys for real, brother.
Yeah, absolutely, man. I think that's a positive. Kids want to play against high level competition, and I think if you have any type of competitive blood in you, you really want to see how you stack up against the big boys. And I want our guys to be tested. I want them to understand, what it means to play high caliber, high level games. And so to take that non-conference schedule into the year to conference play, it should make us a better team. And hopefully with the non-conference, we're able to, get some big wins in those non-conference games and put a little hair on our chest at the same time, give us that confidence.
No doubt. I'll be at the game against Kenny because I know you and him, that's my guy too. So I'll be up for that game because I'll be in Memphis the night before when they play Zion.
Okay.
So it's on the 25th. So the 26th, I'll be up there to see you all duke it out. The Duke boys duke it out up there.
Yeah, man.
And then the Dunn Center up there, man.
Yes, sir.
No doubt. Nate, let's get some now. How for you, man? Like seeing your brother Kenny, or a guy you played with, or a guy you Duke guy like yourself, seeing Grant Hill with the Hawks here doing how successful all the Duke family is. Corey McGee doing big things, Jay Williams as well. Let's talk about that, the brotherhood of Duke and how seeing all you brothers do well and be successful in basketball and also the basketball too. Grant Hill, broadcasting now and owning teams.
Yeah. Well, one, coming from Duke, when we're good guys, sharp guys who've played the game at the highest level, whether it be Duke, pros. And so you're around a lot of, high level people. And if you're a good guy, if you know what you're doing, and people, they want more of that. And so, coming from that Duke brotherhood and the Coach K coaching tree and as part of his family, it just opens so many doors, I mean, here, even in Austin Peay, I wouldn't be here if I didn't have, that Duke connect, and it's important that, when you do have opportunities that, you make the most of them and you continue to, pave the way. But, looking at all the guys that we've had, come through Duke and all the positive things they're doing at just different levels, I'm not surprised. I'm just honored and, I'm glad to be a part of it all. But, watching my guys from afar, I've been rooting for everyone and you just wanting to see them do well. So I look forward to catching some of those NBA games, and I'm calling my boys up that either our GMs, coaches, and say, hey, man, make sure y'all send some scouts here and watch our guys in practice and let them know that, hey, we got some good players here at Austin Peay. But overall, man, I'm just really, really proud of all my Duke brothers.
No doubt. And I saw the other brother played Austin P. Now, Indiana. Terry Taylor. He's been playing well up there, man. From all accounts, he had the best summer of all their guys up there in Indiana.
Yeah,
Austin P. Governor. So
yeah,
folks
yeah.
understand. Austin P. can do some pros. Bubba Wells too, as well. Another
Right.
pro from Austin P. So Austin P. basketball is very famous. And
Yeah,
Leonard
man.
Hamilton got started there as well.
Yeah, yeah. Don't forget my man Trent Hassel. You know,
Yes, Trent Mills, Timberwolves.
yeah, man. I first learned about Austin P, when I was, I believe, a junior at Duke and maybe a sophomore or junior. And we went to the Nike All-American camp, at that time, they will invite a lot of college guys to help, mentor and, be there as camp counselors for the high school kids. And after the camp, we would all get it in too, practice, run drills, and they would have some NBA scouts there just watching, all the pickup games and the workouts. And one day, this 6'6", 6'7", long, just tough guy just locking everybody up, giving them buckets. And, it was an old head. It was always one old head at the gym, He was like, y'all letting that Austin P boy kill y'all. And we were like, Austin P, I never heard of that, I'm like, who is this cat? Trent Hassel. And he was giving us the biz, had all the Power Five, all the blue bloods. And when I left there, I realized that, hey, look, there's good ball players everywhere. And I just met one of them. And so now it's such an honor. I always tell that story. And that they come almost full circle here and be at Austin P and still see Trent. He's still here in Clarksville doing his thing. He has an amazing daughter, man. She's like 8th grade playing varsity, already have like 8, 9 scholarships. I would say you get it from your daddy. He was the bad boy. So, that's one of our legends, man.
One more for you, Nate. I'm gonna ask you this, brother. How has the game changed in your mind since you played? Now that you went from playing to coaching, how has it changed for you all over the years?
Well, I think it's been some good and some bad in terms of I say the bad. I feel that overall kids aren't as competitive as they used to be. I think we really wanted to compete and get after it. And when you cross those lines, it wasn't a whole bunch of, friends and hugs and all that stuff. We wanted to really get after each other. And so I think that's kind of died out a little bit. I think it's just so many ways of playing basketball now. I always tell people, I say, look, today's basketball players, they have, the pickup way they play. They have the AU way they play. They have the things they do with their trainer. And they got the high school, and then they got, college, and they're trying to figure out all these different ways to play ball. And we're trying to teach them and say, look, back when I played, we just played one way. We got after, we compete, and we did everything to win. It wasn't a show. And so I think that's kind of our the era we live in now. But I will say today's kid they're far more, I would say, advanced. I think all the training and the way the game is a more free-flowing game. The skill set, whether you're 6'10" or, a 6 feet guard or whatever. I mean, the game from a skill development point, these kids are superior skill-wise. I mean, and the confidence they have is ridiculous. I mean, you can watch a high school game. Kids come across half because they see their idols pulling up from half court, and it's like, wow. I would never think to shoot from half court. I'm like, that's an automatic sub. You get out of it. But now the kids, I mean, they're hitting this thing at a high clip because the game is so free flowing and skilled, is shooting. And I just think, when you do have those rare breeds that combine the competitiveness in that, it goes to a different level. So those are kind of the two contrasts. But I love our game, man. It's always, just changing and molding. And I just love to see all guys just being basketball players now. It's no, okay, you a big guy, you just like, nah, man, you just a basketball player getting up and down, making it happen.
Even with the Hawks, brother, like when I watch practice, only guy that does not shoot threes is Capella. Everybody else shooting threes, but Capella. Yeah. So that thing, that he's the only guy on our roster, 14 dudes, when he's shooting threes. It's Clint Capella.
Yep. Yeah.
So
they been knocking down. Now I tell you, Curry and the Golden State Warriors, man, you know what they changed the game. You know, it's that the new era, man, and it, you know, all the analytics. You know, it's an analytic driven game now, and you know, you just have to respect it. You know, you can't be one of those guys who are fighting, you know, this era, fighting change, or fighting just the future of basketball. You have to figure it out and dive in as well, because it is fun, man. It's watching when you have it clicking. And I will watch the playoffs and the finals, and I would, you know, text my team and say, hey, are we watching this? Look how they moving the ball. Look how everybody's cutting and touching it. And I say, yeah, you see those threes, but what you see the movement in the floor spacing, and it's just a different brand of ball that's so exciting to watch. You know, if you got the players to do it.
Now I will tell you before you go, Nate. I know y'all playing Kennesaw State, but if you coming in a day before or so, the Hawks have a game. I can get y'all a group rate. Come watch the Hawks play.
Okay.
So I'm just so we're talking about it all fair. But I was letting you know, if y'all come to Kennesaw, if we have a game that day between. Well, I'll help y'all get a group ready to come watch us play.
Yeah, it's so tough, man. You know, when you go to these Thursday, Saturday games, you know, it's a tough turnaround. And, you know, you want to keep them locked in. And obviously in conference play, everyone's fighting, you know, to make sure we're jockeying. It's no different. But that conference play gets a little tricky, man. And that one-day turnaround,
no doubt,
makes it hard, man. I wish we did have a couple of days just to, you know, show up, and I would love to introduce them, you know what I'm saying, to my Duke guys and watch a high level game. But, you know, I don't see it, dog. Like, you want to watch that one in the hotel room, fellas.
I hear that. Folks, that's Nate James on the Bossman Show. It's fun, my boy. Just get real soon, my guy.
Thank you, man. I appreciate you, man. Always a pleasure.
No doubt. Folks, football is back, and BetOnline remains your number one source for all your football betting needs this season. You'll find latest odds, matchup info, player news, and game trends. As your continued source for all sports wagering info, BetOnline features live betting, free contests, live scores, and giveaways all season long. Always the fastest and easiest way to bet all your favorite sports and events like MLB, MMA, tennis, boxing, and even golf. Head to betonline.ag, that's betonline.ag, to receive your 100% welcome bonus with your first deposit. Make sure you use the promo code BELIEVE, that's BLEAV, to receive your rewards. BetOnline, where the game starts, and also BetOnline sponsors the Bossman Show on your radio.
If your job at a healthcare facility includes disinfecting against viruses, you know prevention is the best medicine, and maintaining healthy spaces starts with a healthy cleaning routine. Grainger's world-class supply chain helps ensure you have the quality products you need when you need them, from disinfectants and cleaning supplies to personal protective equipment, so you can help deliver a clean bill of health. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Breaking news, and this one is almost unbelievable.
Yeah, it's all about new customers at Bet365 because they get $150 in bonus bets when they bet $5, win or lose. And even better, bonus bets can be used on the spread, totals, and player props.
There you have it. Bet $5 to get $150 in bonus bets, win or lose. And see why it's never ordinary at Bet365. 21 plus only. Must be physically located in Ohio. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. T&Cs apply. Available in app only.